Moin Moin and welcome to Ralfs Foto-Bude. Yeah, some days ago I presented to you in my preview the Panasonic Lumix DMC-G6. Yeah, now it's time for the review. It was only 4 or 5 days for testing because the G6 is so brand new that Panasonic has only a few models for testing, and so I'm one of the first guys in Germany who was able to test the G6, but unfortunately today I have to bring back the G6 to Panasonic. So one thing I can say after my test is the G6 is grown up. So compared to the model G5, it has more speed, more picture quality, more functions, more of everything, and even a little bit more modern design, a little bit more a nicer outline. So yeah, it's a grown-up camera, and compared to a DSLR camera like the Canon EOS 100D or SLI, the Rebel SLI in America, yeah, it's real on the same level in almost every point, and in some points the G6 is a little bit better and has more options. So let's talk about the picture quality. The picture quality of the G6 is real good. It's down in the ISO areas, in the low and mid ISO areas. It's a real good picture quality. It has less noise than the G5, and the colors, the brightness and the contrast is real good. So in this area I would say there's almost no difference between the G6 and DSLR like the SLI from Canon or the other Rebels in the mid-consumer area. So if you go up to the professional SLRs, there's better picture quality, that's sure, but they are bigger, they are more expensive, and you have to buy real expensive lenses. So for the pros, yes, there's only a DSLR the option, not a system camera with interchangeable lenses. But for the consumer and even the advanced consumer, I think the picture quality of a camera like the G6 or the models, the best models from Olympus like the Pen G5 and the OMD, it's real good picture quality. Talking about the speed, yes, the G6, the speed is better than the G5. The autofocus works not much, but it works faster, and it's almost on the same level of a Rebel SLI. Maybe the Rebel is a little bit faster, but it's on a real high level, and you have a real fast camera. If you use also good lenses, fast lenses, you have a real high speed of autofocus, and for me, in my opinion, the speed is real good and made a real big step from the G5 and the former system camera models. So the engineers did a real good job on the G6. That was the picture quality, that was speed, and now we talk about the whole package. So what's in the camera? We have the turnable screen, we have the touch screen. One thing that the SLI doesn't have, only the upper models like the 700D and the 650D of Canon. We have the Wi-Fi function. The Wi-Fi function is really nice. I tried some things over the weekend with the Wi-Fi function. You can make a picture, and in the background the camera transmit the picture over the Wi-Fi to an iPad or a computer on iPhone or stuff like that, even in full resolution. So you can take pictures, and in the background the camera transmit the pictures to your device. That's a real nice function. You have a remote only a low-level remote. You can only zoom and use the shutter. You're not able to change anything in the menus, or you cannot change the program or stuff like that. But maybe in one of the next software releases, maybe Panasonic puts a little bit more stuff in the remote control of the G6. Then you have options for the cloud. You have a lot of options in the Wi-Fi menu, and you have the NFC chip. So if you have a smartphone or a device with an NFC chip, you can connect them very simple over the NFC chip. You don't have to put in any keys or stuff like that. So that's a real simple way. Unfortunately, the iPhones doesn't have an NFC chip. Maybe the next 5S or 6 have an NFC chip inside, so you can also connect it much more easier than now, while you have to print in the key. But once you've put in the key, the next time it's very easy to connect the camera. So next point, you have some very nice features in my preview. I showed you the most important things in the menu. I gave you a quick overview, and so now I only will pick up some real nice features which are not in the consumer DSLRs. So if you go to the recording menu, let's see, we have in the recording menu, we have these are the usual points. We have a HDR function. That's a real nice function. I show you in my Flickr account some pictures with HDR, and you have the time-lapse shot. Time-lapse shot is a real nice function for if you want to take the bloom of flowers when it opens up or it's closed, or if you take pictures of a big place, a crowded place, like for 3 or 4 hours when all the people are moving around. So time-lapse is a real nice function, and it's built in here. You can say the start time, you can say the shooting interval, and you can say how many images you make. And in the playback menu, you have the option to combine it to a video. The camera makes it by herself, so you don't have to take care about a program on your computer. Next point after the time-lapse shot is a stop-motion animation. If you want to make a stop-motion animation, it's very easy. You say start, you say auto shooting, and you say shooting interval. So you move the scene a little bit, and the camera takes the picture every 5-10 seconds, or any thing you want. Or you can go out of the auto shooting and make the manual shooting. And again, the camera combines the pictures to a movie. You don't have to take care about it. It's a function in the playback menu. I can show you here in the playback menu. Sorry, oops, a little bit too fast today. I show you in the playback menu. Here we have time-lapse video and stop-motion video. So the camera recognizes if you have if the pictures are in the if you made the pictures in the time-lapse mode or in the stop-motion mode, and the camera looks on the SD card if she finds pictures in the time-lapse or stop-motion mode and combines it to a video. You don't have to take care about it. The camera makes it by herself. Very easy, very comfortable. So let's see what we have also after the stop motion. We have the electronic shutter. I mentioned it in the preview also. We have the electronic shutter. The electronic shutter is absolutely, it doesn't make any noise, so you can go into concerts, or you can go in museums, or if you don't want to have the vibration of the mechanical shutter, you can go the electronical, and the only sound you hear now is the sound of the beep, but that's only because if I don't use the beep, you won't hear anything. So let's hear. So that's only the sound of the electronical sound of the camera. You see here that says E, and that's the sign for the electronical shutter. So let's see, let's make it off. IRAD removal, ISO limit. The camera goes up to 12,800. That's the highest ISO you have. And these points I showed you before in my preview. You have the stabilizer, face recognition. So these are the things I showed you just before in my preview video. So one thing I should show you is the peaking function. That's real nice if you have the if you're working in the manual focus. So if you want to work in the manual focus, just press the quick menu button, and here you see they have the different focus modes, and we have the autofocus single, we have the autofocus flexible, where the camera decides by herself it's a single shot or it's something moving, so it goes between continuous and single, it changed by herself. And you have the autofocus continuous, and you have the manual focus. This lens I have is a power zoom lens, and at the power zoom lens you have this lever for focusing. I think if you want to make manual focusing, this is not the best lens for manual focusing. This is a real good lens if you want to take movies, or if you want to take only pictures in autofocus mode, because you have the lever here for zooming, and that's a real nice thing when you take videos, because you can hold the camera very firm and steady. You don't have to turn a zoom ring, you only just move your finger here on top of the camera, because here is the second lever for zooming, or you have your thumb on the side of the camera like this and turn your finger on the zoom lever, and you can change the focal length very easy without shaking the camera. So I will show you how the manual focus works with the Olympus lens. Yes, you can use Olympus lenses on the G6, because they both use the Micro Four Third standard, and so the connection is absolutely the same. So you can change lenses from Panasonic to Olympus and from Olympus to Panasonic in the G system and in the Pan and OMD system. And so if you go, then you have one real nice thing at the Olympus lens is that's autofocus and that's manual focus, so you can change real fast between the two systems. And if you're in the manual focus, just turn the manual focus ring, and when you turn the manual focus ring, it goes directly in the magnification mode. You have to set it in the menu, that's for sure, but it goes directly in the manual mode. And if you turn here, I have to shut up a little bit, because then you will see the peaking function just for a second. Here you have seen the peaking functions, how the area where the sharpness is perfect goes from the back side to the front side. So there you have the peaking function, and you can change the magnification just by turning here, so you can have a real close-up magnification. You see, that's a real close-up, and if you want to go a little bit more larger, you can go up like this, and you can move the area which you wanna see by just moving here the four-way pad, and you see which area you get, and you will see it in one turn again on the dial on top of the camera, and you're in the biggest magnification, and you see you can really yeah, here you see the peaking also. You can really very good and smooth use the manual focus. So that's a real nice thing for the manual focusing on the camera. One step up also, the electronic viewfinder. The electronic viewfinder of the G6 is much more fine, much more contrast, much more brighter than the old one of the G5. Now it's an OLED electronic viewfinder, so this also makes a real big step up. Okay, there's still a difference to an optical viewfinder. That's for sure. The optical viewfinder, you only have glass, so it's absolutely clear picture. It has no shaking if you turn the camera, no delay or something like that. So that's for sure. But one thing you don't have to forget, you see everything in the monitor on the electronic viewfinder you want to see. Even you can see the menus in the monitor in the electronic viewfinder. So if you go to the electronic viewfinder, you see there are the most important things to see. You have the resolution, you have everything you want in the electronic viewfinder, and even if I press the menu button, you have the menus. So you can set up the menus in the electronic viewfinder, and that's one thing you don't have in a DSLR. In a DSLR you have normally the shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO, and exposure control, and maybe the picture count, but that's usually okay. There are some cameras which show a little bit more, but that's usually all you see in a viewfinder of a DSLR. Here you see everything. You can in the bright sun, even the sun is bright and you want to make settings in the menu, that's not a problem. Look through the viewfinder and you can make every setting also in the electronic viewfinder, and I think that's a big advantage of the electronic viewfinder. If you go like skiing, or if you go on a beach, or if you go hiking in high sun areas where you have lots of sun and you don't see anything or a few on the control monitor, there's an electronic viewfinder, a real big thing. So I think that's a big advantage. And yes, you don't have the clear build, you have a little bit more pixels in the picture, but it's up to you to say, okay, I want a little bit more grainy picture, but I have all informations, more options. You have even the magnification, the manual focus magnification. You also have in the viewfinder. Or you want an absolutely clear, glass clear picture without lots of informations, but you want a glass clear picture, then a DSLR is the option. Yeah, so you have, what else do we have? Yeah, I think these are the most important things, and you can put up, you can change a lot of settings at the camera. You have a lot of possibilities to change. You have yeah, the function buttons and all the stuff you can change. And you have the quick menu. I like the quick menu very much, because in the quick menu you can change the most important setting, like the focus mode. You can change the autofocus areas. You can change the resolution, the picture setting. Here for the video you can change the photo style. So you have the most important settings you can make in the quick menu. You don't have to go in the complete menu. You can do it in the quick menu, and you can do it also by touchscreen. That's a very nice feature. And if once you've used to the touchscreen, I promise you won't never use a camera without a touchscreen. It's the first time you don't use it so much because it's unusual. It's not the way you worked the years before. But once you get used to it and try to use it more and more and more, it's so easy, because if you want to change the ISO setting, just press here and just press on the thing. You don't have to use buttons or anything else. Just go in the menu. If you want to change the autofocus field, just press here, just press there, and that's it. So that's real easy. Get used to it. Try it, work a lot with it, and you really get used to it very soon, and you won't miss it anymore. I promise you. I'm also a guy who didn't use the touchscreen for years and said, oh, I don't like this stuff and I don't need it. And now I like it so much and I'm used to it, and I work so often with the autofocus, the touchscreen. Talking autofocus, I was faster with my fingers than my brain. The autofocus area I put on the one area, and I show you how this will work. The autofocus, you can put your finger on the screen and move the autofocus field on a place where you want. You can change the size just by turning the dial, and so if you have the smallest field, you can go if you want to take portraits, you can move the field real perfectly on your eyes. And now one real good thing of the G6, the G5 has it too, but I show you again because I like this feature so much. If you look through the viewfinder, you will see the autofocus field in the viewfinder. And now you can put your thumb on the screen gets dark, I can turn around and you will see. So the screen is now dark. And you can put your finger on the screen and move the autofocus field on a place where you want to have it. So, yesterday I took portraits of my girlfriend, and so it's very easy to hold the camera, hold the thumb on the touchpad and move the autofocus field exactly on her eyes. And even if you move the camera, or even if she's moving a little bit, that's no problem. You don't have to move the autofocus field with the buttons. You just move your finger on the autofocus field by just moving the point around, and so that's very easy to follow her eyes and make an absolute perfect picture with an absolute perfect sharp eye. And so that's real nice feature. I like this one. I like this one very much because it's very easy to follow up moving objects. You don't have to put the finger on the four-way dial to move the autofocus area. Just put your finger on the screen and move it around. So that's real easy to do. The only thing you have to do for this is you have to make the settings in the menu. And I will show you where it is. It's here in the touch settings on page 7 of the individual custom menu or the custom menu. Here you have to put on the touch screen on, and you have the touch autofocus on, and you have the touchpad autofocus to set exact, and that's it. And then you have the moving exactly on the screen. The offset means if you use the offset, if you work now, you see my finger is just on the autofocus point. So, and if you use off that, the autofocus point is a little bit, the autofocus point is a little bit off the finger, so you can see it. I show you how this works. So if you go to offset and then you make a touch screen. It's not really good to see, but it has a little bit an offset, so you can move the point a little bit better to a certain point you want to see. So this is one real nice feature, and again, I should show you this too, is you can set it to not only to put the autofocus point, but you can also make the shutter release by this. Just flap this small thing here out here. By the way, you have the function buttons 6 and 7. You can program this one individually too. So, and here we have the shutter release. And now if I press here, you will see it gets yellow. And if it's got yellow, you have the shutter release just by pressing the finger on the screen. So if you go to the screen and press here, you see it makes the autofocus immediately and the shutter release. So, and you see how fast it is. So yeah, they speed up the G6 really compared to the G5. So you see it's really fast. And if you have a scene, people running around, or your kids or your dog, it's really nice. You follow up and just press on the screen and you get the picture. And usually it's a sharp picture, and if they are not too fast, you will get them. So the autofocus is real fast, and the camera is fast too. The serial mode goes up to 7 pictures per second in full resolution, and I think up to 10, 15 pictures per second in low resolution or lower resolution mode. So also this is real fast, and 7 pictures in full resolution. The mid-class DSLRs don't speed up like this. They go up to 4 pictures per second. So this is also an advantage of the system camera or of the G6 like this. So there are a lot of more functions in the camera. There are some real nice goodies in the camera. I showed you now the most important things. I give you an idea of the camera, of the picture quality, of the speed, of the functions, of the monitor and touchscreen, of the electronic viewfinder, design of the camera. For video, it has an external microphone jack, so you can put on an external microphone for the better sound. Unfortunately, the HDMI connector is not a live HDMI output, so if you make movies, you're not able to get the signal out of the HDMI connector and put an extra screen, an external screen beside the camera for controlling the videos or the picture a little bit better. Unfortunately, Panasonic didn't do that. I don't know why. I think they wanna have a difference between the G6 and the GH3, but I don't think this would be necessary, because the GH3 has a lot higher data rate in the video mode. So for professionals, there's no way around the GH3. They cannot use the G6 because the data rate of the G6 is not high enough for real professional videos. So maybe they make it in a later software release if it's possible, or the G7 has the HDMI output. I don't know. But still, it's a real good video camera. It makes real good videos. The autofocus is fast enough for videos. You have the nice function of zooming I showed you before, just by putting your finger up and down with a power zoom lens. So be sure, if you want to make videos, to get the power zoom lens, because they are real comfortable for zooming. They are much better for zooming than the conventional lenses with the turnable zoom ring. Yeah, so that's the overview. That's my review of the Panasonic Lumix DMC-G6, a real nice camera, a grown-up camera. And yeah, today it's real hard to decide between the system camera on the one hand and a DSLR on the other hand, and therefore I make another video where I compare both systems in one video, and where I compare the systems DSLR to system camera and show you the pros and cons of each of the cameras. But today it's very difficult to decide, if you are not a beginner, but if you're going into the real photography, it's very difficult to decide between DSLR and the system camera, because they have a lot of nice features. They have good picture quality, they have high speed, they are light, they are small. You have a lot of lenses by now. In the beginning you had only a few, but now you have a lot of lenses, and with the Panasonic system you have the option to use also the Olympus lenses, and they are real good, and they have real good lenses. So there's also the 60mm macro lens I like very much from Olympus. So you have a good diversity of lenses. You not only have a few, you have the flash. I mean, you have everything you need, even the picture quality. So it's up to you to decide. And if you are a pro, I think there's no way around the DSLR. For pros, still the DSLR is the choice of the hour, and you need to have the big sensor. You need to have the roughness of the camera and stuff like that. But for the advanced photographer, for the hobby photographer, for the amateur, I think the system camera is also a real good choice. So that's my review for today of the Panasonic Lumix DMC-G6. I hope you enjoyed my review. You see the preview. There are some features I explain again. I show you the menus more detailed. And then I have the comparison of the Panasonic DMC-G6 versus the Canon Rebel SL1. So there are the pros and cons of both systems, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Come back again, see me on my YouTube channel. Go also please to my Flickr account, because on my Flickr account you see a lot of pictures and you can decide by yourself about the picture quality, about the noise in the different ISO areas. So you have the option to decide by yourself if the picture quality for you is good enough, or if you say, no, I want a more picture quality, I have to go up in the DSLR area, in the high class DSLR area with higher resolution. Or if you say, yes, that's perfect for me, that fits my needs perfect, so you can make up your decision by yourself. Thanks again for watching me. Come back again. Until now, have some fun by taking pictures today, and I say moin moin.